Hi and welcome to Seasparkle's Corner. Today I want to talk to you about specialty restaurants on Norwegian Cruise Line. Now when I was on the Norwegian Sea, which is an older ship, there wasn't specialty restaurants. There were only main dining rooms. When I was on the Norway, it was the same. But when I went on the Norwegian Getaway, the Norwegian Joy, and the Norwegian Pearl, there is specialty restaurants. Let me check and make sure it's still recording. Okay. All right. And there's different check-in policies which I wasn't made aware of. Okay, when we were on the Getaway and the Joy, which is the larger ships, our whole itinerary was on the TV. It reminded us day by day what we were going to do for our side trips, our specialty restaurants, etc., etc. And we could also check out our balance, so which was really handy. So because it was on the TV, when you went down to the restaurants, all your specialty restaurants, which you have to check in at, you check in all of them, but the specialty restaurants are considered different. They say you have to have a reservation there, and you just turn in your room key. Now, the room key is something you use on every ship, no matter what size it is. You use it to check in at every restaurant. You use it to make purchases. Essentially, on the ships, it's cash free. Okay. So, when I went on the Getaway, and I went on the Joy, when it was time for our reservation, we went there between 15 and 20 minutes early like we were told. And so we just showed our, they said, do you have a room key? You just scanned your reservation. You handed them the room key. Only one of them was needed, because the other person was part of the party, but my mother offered to show hers as well. And so they set us right away. Even if we were there 20 minutes early, if the restaurant was open, boom, we got to sit right away. That was it. It was that simple. Now when we went on the Pearl, let me check and make sure it's still running. Okay. When we went on the Pearl, it was different. I went to go on the TV screen to check. I was specifically wanting to check to see what our side trip tickets were already in the room, but we're not talking about side trips. I went on the screen to see if the listing of our specialty restaurants was on there. They weren't. Now, I didn't remember what day and what place we had a specialty restaurant at. So I went down to customer service, and they said to go around to the lady on the Pearl. When I went down to customer service, she said to go down to the lady on the end. She helps with all restaurant and spa reservations. So she just did that, so I knew to do that in the future. So I went to the end there and gave her my room key and told her my name, and she said, I'm gonna print you out your tickets for it. And so she printed out little tickets, and I said, okay, so this will tell me when to go. And she said to go at least a half hour early to every specialty restaurant. I said, okay. So I said, so this is to remind me of the time. She said, yes, it will. That was it. It didn't occur to me that I had to turn in the tickets at the time. I thought it was just a reminder. So for the first night we were on the ship, we had an Italian restaurant reservation. We went to it, and I told her I had a reservation, and she said fine and sat us down. That was it. I didn't turn in the ticket. She didn't ask for it. I didn't know that's what we were supposed to do. And so then when I went to the next one, Moderna or something like that, I'm not sure what the name of it was. It began with the letter M. And it had the meats on sticks. So we got there a half hour. We got there down at 5:30 for a 6 o'clock reservation. And they asked, are you using your specialty reservations? And I said, yes. And the Italian one answered that too. They said, that's fine. So they sat us right away at 5:30. Even though we had a 6 o'clock reservation. So, and that was fine. That was wonderful. So by the time we went to Cagney's, the third day we were on the ship, went to Cagney's, I didn't bring the ticket because the other 2 places didn't ask for it. They just said, do you have a reservation? And that was it. So when I went to Cagney's at the other side, they said, do you have a ticket? I said, no, I threw it out. And he said, go sit over there. I said, wait a minute, I have a reservation. He said, go sit over there. Firmly. And I said, okay. So my mother and I sat over there, and they were letting other people in there. So it became from 5:30 to 6, then to 6:30, then 7. And by then, my mother was upset. And she said, look, I told them we had a reservation. And she said, then why are we late for our reservation? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know. And so I said, don't worry, when we get back home, I'm going to call and complain to Norwegian. I'm calling Norwegian. And so the other person said, look, she's going to get us all in trouble because of you. And I said loudly, I said, well, we had a 6 o'clock reservation. They told us to come here at 5:30. And I said, they didn't tell us we had to turn in the tickets. When we went to you the other day, and when we went to the Italian restaurant, they didn't ask us for it, so I didn't know. They didn't tell us to turn them in. They just said the tickets were to remind us, I was told, about what time it was. So in case you don't get the correct information, when you're on a small ship, keep the ticket, go to the reservation, and hand it to the person. So that's the difference on the ships with the specialty restaurants. And I didn't call and complain to Norwegian because even though we were an hour and a half late after our reservation, we got in and that was all that mattered to me. And my mother was fit to be tied. She said they let all these other people ahead of us and they had later reservations. And so I told Mom, I said, Mom, we're here now. That's all that matters. So we're specifically talking about the check-in process of the specialty restaurants. And I hope this helps. This is an information video. And I'm not upset with Norwegian because they're always usually very good to us. And this was just a misinformation. The person that gave me the tickets didn't make it clear to me that I was supposed to hand it to him. And then the first 2 restaurants we went to, neither one of them even asked. So to be on the safe side, if you're on a ship that doesn't have it on the TV and you need a reminder and you have to get tickets, go down there, check it and get tickets. Don't throw them out. Take the tickets with you and hand them to the person so you don't have to go through what I went through. I was not given proper information, but I'm sharing this information with all my viewers out there, so whoever goes on Norwegian next, can have the proper information and don't have to go through what we went through, because my mother was quite hungry by the time we got down. At least she had a good appetite, and I did because we were a little bit late for dinner. And which we ended up having a wonderful time, so I hope this information helps. And thank you for watching, and as always, the fun never ends in Seasparkle's Corner. Love you. Feel free to share. Feel free to subscribe. Hugs and kisses from my family to yours. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.